Karen keeps her mother's checkbook in a drawer. 36 stubs, all identical. $2,000, first of the month, made out to Karen. Medicaid has read every one of them. Every memo line is blank. 3 years of that is $72,000. Diane paid me, Karen says. She meant it. Medicaid called every check a gift. Karen had moved in 4 years before that. She gave up a job to do it. She learned her mother's blood thinners and which side of the bed to stand on so that a fall became a stumble. For the first year, she took nothing at all. Then Diane started writing the checks because she could see what this was costing her daughter, and she wanted it to cost less. There are 2 shields in federal law for exactly this situation. One protects the money, one protects the house. Karen had neither of them, and not because anybody here did anything wrong. 4 years later, Diane needed a nursing home. Her application came back approved on the medical side and blocked on the money. Not because Diane had too much, because of 36 checks. Karen had kept every single stub. She thought keeping the stubs was the same thing as keeping a record. So what were those checks missing, and why did nobody find out until the bed was already needed? What they were missing is 1 page, and it had to exist before the first check was written. Start with what Medicaid is, because most families arrive at this already fused with the other one. Medicare is the insurance your mother paid into every working year of her life. Medicare does not cover a long stay in a nursing home. Medicaid does. Medicaid is means tested, so before it pays anything, it looks backward. That look back runs 60 months, 5 years of your mother's bank records, read line by line. Every dollar that left her accounts without something of equal value coming back is called an uncompensated transfer. In plain speech, a gift. Karen's $72,000 landed in that column. Then it gets divided. Diane lives in Florida, and Florida's 2026 divisor is $10,645 a month. That figure is the state's own estimate of what 1 month of nursing home care costs somebody paying privately. Do the division out loud. $72,000 divided by $10,645 is 6.76. Call it 7 months. 7 months of nursing home care that Medicaid will not pay for. At $315 a day, the national median for a semi-private room, the family covers close to $64,800. I said 2 shields. Both are federal, both are ordinary, and I am going to give you the exact words for each one. If this is useful to you, a like helps the next family find it. Before either of them, though, you need to know when those 7 months actually start. It is not when you think, and the timing is the part that hurts. Here is the first thing almost everybody has backwards. Those 7 months do not start on the day a check is written, they do not start when the look-back begins, and they do not start when the application is filed either. Her penalty clock starts on the day she applies for Medicaid, is found otherwise eligible, and is turned down for that one reason. Sit with what that means. Otherwise eligible is the phrase. That means her savings are already spent. That clock waits. It waits until she is broke, until she is in the bed, until there is no money left to bridge anything. Then it runs for 7 months with nobody paying. That is why nobody catches this early. A 5-year look back feels like the dangerous clock, so families count backward from a gift and relax when the 5th year passes. Meanwhile, the clock that actually empties the account has not started. Now the second thing, and this one is stranger. Medicaid never asked whether Karen worked. Medicaid asked one question: was there consideration of equal value documented at the time? Work does count as value. An agency doing those same hours is compensated, and nobody blinks. What the rule is built to catch is money moving inside a family with a story attached afterward. Afterward is the whole problem. A caseworker 4 years later cannot tell a wage from a gift because the two look identical on a bank statement, so the rule does not try. Instead, it presumes a gift and puts the burden of proof on your family. Frank lives 2 streets over from Karen. He moved in with his mother the same winter. Same county, same $2,000 a month, 34 checks instead of 36. Frank's mother went into care in March. Her penalty was 0. Frank did one thing Karen did not, and it took an afternoon. I am going to show you exactly what it was. Frank signed a piece of paper before the first dollar moved. That page is called a personal care agreement. Some states call it a personal services contract. Some call it a caregiver agreement. Which of those your state uses does not matter. What matters is that it existed first. Frank's runs 4 pages. Who provides care? What care? How many hours a week? At what rate? Starting on what date? Both of them signed it, and a notary stamped the last page. He kept a log, a spiral notebook on the kitchen counter, with the hours in it. When the caseworker asked about 34 checks for $2,000, Frank handed over 4 pages and a notebook. Those checks stopped being transfers. They became wages, which is what they always were. Karen handed over 36 stubs. A stub proves money left. It cannot prove anything came back. Same street, same money, same work. One family is out 7 months of care and the other is not, and the entire difference is the date on a signature. I want to be careful about what Frank actually did here, because this is the part that gets oversold. Frank did not find a loophole. He did not shelter anything. He wrote down a true thing at the time it was true, instead of asking somebody to take his word for it 4 years later. There is a second shield coming, and it does not protect the money. It protects the house. That one also carries 3 conditions, and most families satisfy 2 of them. Hold on to that. I promised you to. Here they are, and here are the words to use. Shield 1, a personal care agreement. 6 things have to be on it. Write them down. 1. A signature date, and it has to fall before the first payment. 2. Who provides the care and who receives it. 3. Specific services, bathing, transport, meals, medication reminders, overnight supervision. List them. 4. Hours as a minimum per week. 5. A rate. 6. Both signatures notarized. Then the rate, because this is where good agreements fail. Price it to your own county, not to a national figure. Call 3 home care agencies in your county and ask this: what do you charge per hour for non-medical in-home care for a client with my mother's needs? Write down the 3 numbers and the date you called. Keep that page with the agreement. For scale, the national median is $35 an hour. That is what the market charges for the work you are doing for free. Keep a log, date, hours, what you did. A notebook is fine. Nobody needs a spreadsheet and the memo line on every check. Write the words payment per care agreement and the month. That is the line Karen left blank 36 times. Shield 2, the caregiver child exception. Federal law says a parent may transfer her home to a son or daughter with no penalty at all, if that child lived in the home for at least 2 years immediately before she goes into care, and provided care that is what kept her out of a facility. Not a reduced penalty. None. You will find it at 42 U.S.C. 1396p, subsection C, in the same statute that creates the penalty. Read that again. The law that punishes the transfer also names the one child it will not punish, the child who moved in and did the work. Karen qualifies for that one. She moved into Diane's house 4 years before the nursing home, and the care she gave is the reason Diane was still in it. The $72,000 is gone. Her house is a separate question, and the answer there is better. Both of these are genuinely easy to do. Paperwork is not the hard part, and I will tell you what is before we finish. Now the honest half, because a shield described without its edges is a sales pitch. Start with the 3 conditions on Shield 2, because families routinely satisfy 2 of them and think that is enough. It is not. 2 out of 3 is 0. Condition 1, your mother's home. Not next door, not a granny flat on the same lot, not practically living there. Her home as her address. Condition 2, at least 2 years, unbroken, immediately before she is institutionalized. A gap in the middle can reset it. Moving out for 6 months and back can reset it. Condition 3, her care has to be what kept her out of a facility. Your state decides that, usually on a physician's statement. Ask her doctor for that letter while she is still at home. Not after. Karen has hers. One phone call, and the surgery posted it out that week. Second catch, and it is the one nobody mentions. Money you receive under a care agreement is income. It is taxable. You will likely be filing a Schedule C, and you may owe self-employment tax on it. I am telling you that plainly because the arithmetic still works, and because a video that only lists the upside is not worth your afternoon. Frank paid tax on his $68,000. He also did not lose 7 months of his mother's care. Those are not close. Karen paid no tax on hers, and I would not call that the better outcome. Third catch, no backdating, not 1 day. An agreement signed today covers care from today forward, and an agreement dated last spring in this spring's handwriting is worse than no agreement at all. It converts a defensible position into a documented one. And the variance. Federal law sets the look back at 60 months and creates both of these shields in every state. What differs is the divisor, whether a lump sum prepayment is allowed at all, and how strictly the 2-year residence is read. California's look back is shorter than the federal 60 months. One more reason this conversation has to happen with somebody who knows your specific state's rules, not a national average. You do not have to start with a lawyer, and you should not have to. Your area agency on aging is free, and every county has one. So is your state's Medicaid office. Start there, then pay for an elder law attorney to review the agreement before it is signed. Here is all of it, as a list. 1. Medicaid looks back 60 months, and it presumes any money that left your mother's account was a gift. 2. A penalty does not start when you give. It starts when she applies, is otherwise eligible, and is refused. That is to say, when the money is already gone. 3. A personal care agreement, signed before the first payment, at the local rate, with a log, turns those payments back into wages. 4. If you have lived in her home for 2 years and your care is what kept her there, the home itself can transfer to you with no penalty at all. 5. Both of those have to exist before, not after. There is no version of this you can build in hindsight. One thing tonight, not 5. Open a note on your phone and write down the date you moved in, or the date you started doing the care. Then write what you actually do in a week, hours, and what they are for. That note is not the agreement. You hand it to whoever writes the agreement, and it is the only part that gets harder to reconstruct with every month that passes. Karen and Diane got through their 7 months. A sister helped, and it took most of what the sister had. Frank is still 2 streets over and still keeping the notebook. The paperwork was never the hard part. I said I would tell you what is. It is that naming a price for looking after your own mother feels like a betrayal of looking after your own mother. It is not. The work is real, it has a market value, and there is a form that says so. If this helped, please hit like and subscribe so the next one reaches you. I would rather you act a year early than a single day late.